Welcome back to the KJ Methods YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be starting a new topic, valuation. If you are just joining us, welcome, but also make sure you go back and look at all of the other topics that we have already covered. Once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also click the link below if you want me to send you my KJ Method study plan. For those who don't know me, my name is KJ. I'm a real estate attorney as well as a pre-licensed instructor, and I run a program called the KJ Method, which is designed to get students passing the real estate exam. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. As you know, we like understanding at the KJ Method, not just regurgitation. So we only do 10 questions at a time. Number one, your agent takes you out on a Saturday and you see many houses that are similar in your chosen subdivision. You decide that you will select the lowest price home. Under which economic principle did you make your selection? So you're there, you see all of these houses, you're like, I'm just going for the lowest price house. Well, that would be the principle of substitution. If you remember, the principle of substitution is essentially saying, hey, you could put those houses in the same subdivision on the market for whatever you like, but that lower price house is always going to be sold first. All right, so you have to be able to let your clients know about value, right? And about value in that particular subdivision, because if you come in at 400,000 and all the other houses are 300,000, they're all gonna sell before the $400,000 house. Number two, you're an investor and you have a one-family residence in a neighborhood of similar properties. You learn that another investor sold the property 2 weeks ago for $325 and it was renting for $1,800 per month. You decide you may want to sell yours also based upon the price the other investor received. Your property currently rents for $2,100. What approach would the appraiser utilize? Make sure you understand the question. There's a house over here that sold for $325 and it was renting for $1,800. Yours is renting for $2,100. You're like, well, I want to use the formula that they used to get the $325. Okay, so the answers: A, gross income multiplier, and your value would be lower. Capitalization approach, and your value would be lower. C, gross rent multiplier approach, and your value would be higher. D, gross income multiplier approach, and your value would be higher. Guys, first of all, you need to know what the difference is between income and rent multiplier, right? This is definitely going to be a gross rent multiplier. How do I know that? Because it is under 5 families. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we always use rent multiplier, not income multiplier. Then the second part of the question, if you're looking at their rent, they were getting $1,800 and they sold for $325. You're getting more rent, $2,100. So do you expect to sell for more or less? You expect to sell for more. All right, so the answer would be C. Number 3, which of the following is an example of incurable functional obsolescence? Guys, you need to know what functional obsolescence is first, and then what is curable and what is incurable. They test this concept a lot. So A, sagging floors in a home. B, a leaky roof in a home. C, a home that has 5 bedrooms and 1 bath. Or D, a kitchen where all of the appliances are white. All right, definition of functional is what? It means it's a way that it was, the houses were used that way before, but they're not used that way today, right? 5 bedrooms, 1 bath. Woo, no, we don't do that anymore, all right? White appliances, no, we don't do that anymore. Make sure you understand the difference between functional, physical, and economic. But this is asking for functional. So functional is how we use the house today versus how we used to use it. Another language that they use is contemporary standards, today's standards. So it's not sagging floors, it's not a leaky roof. It's either 5-bedroom, 1-bath, or a kitchen where all the appliances are white. However, it says incurable. What is incurable? Incurable means it essentially costs too much to fix it, right? The cost of the repair is less than the value that you're going to get. So if that's the case, then it's going to be the home that is 5 bedrooms, 1 bath. For your test, guys, listen, we don't HGTV houses, right? We don't pop the top. We don't throw 3 extra bathrooms, add an addition. If they want incurable, functional, just look at the house, how the house operates. It doesn't operate how we do it today, and we're not popping any tops, okay? And so if it's a floor plan or bedrooms or something like that, it is going to always be incurable. Let's look at D just quickly. All of the appliances are white. What could we do there? Let's just go buy some stainless appliances. Pop those out, pop the other ones in. So that would be curable, functional obsolescence, not incurable. Number 4, when calculating net operating income for the capitalization approach, what items are not part of the calculation? What do we not count as part of the calculation when we are looking for net operating income? A, potential gross income. B, depreciation. C, expenses. D, property taxes. This one you should know. If you're thinking of net operating income, right? It's the income minus the expenses. You remember that? We do not count depreciation in this formula. We also don't account for income taxes in this formula, all right? Because depreciation goes to the amount that something is depreciated on income taxes depends upon how much the person was making, how many expenses they have. Depreciation is different, right, for different people. So that's why we don't count it. All we want to know is how is this building doing? And how much income, how much expenses, and property taxes is part of the expenses. 5, when calculating net operating income of under the cap approach, again, we're on cap approach, what will be the final step in the formula before you arrive at net operating income? Do you remember this formula? Let's look at it. You're going to, A, subtract expenses from the effective gross income. B, subtract expenses from the potential gross income. C, you're going to subtract vacancies and collection losses from the potential gross income. Or D, you're going to subtract depreciation and effective gross income. Well, hopefully you know and you could get rid of D, right? You got to be a good eliminator on this test. We just said depreciation doesn't even come into it. So the answer here is A, subtract expenses from effective gross income. How do I know that? Because I know the formula. Here's the formula for you. It's potential gross income minus vacancies, and then that gives you effective gross income, and then you take away the expenses. That will get you your net operating income. So again, it is potential gross income minus your vacancies. That equals effective gross income. Take away your expenses, and you get to your net operating income. 6, when an appraiser selects a comparable, he should select A, 3 to 5, and those requiring the fewest adjustments. B, as many as he can find that are close to the comparable in terms of similarity. C, 3 to 5 that are the closest in distance to the subject. D, the ones that were closest in price to the subject. So appraiser is looking for comparables. What is he looking for? He's looking for A, 3 to 5, and the ones requiring the least amount of adjustments. What do I mean by that? It's the one that's kind of most similar, right? Most similar to the house that he is appraising. 7. What would be the most likely approach that an insurance company would use in valuing a property? A, market data approach. B, reproduction cost approach. C, replacement cost approach. D, gross income multiplier. This one is really simple too, and it should be simple for you too. The answer is C. Guys, you really need to know when they say insurance company, when they say appraiser, which one are we going to use for this or that? That you have to know, okay? You have to know that. And so insurance company is going to use replacement cost approach. So that would be C. 8. What would be the most appropriate appraisal report for a condemnation action? And you should know what a condemnation action is. A, a narrative report. B, a letter of opinion. C, a short form report. D, it depends on the appraiser. No, it doesn't depend on the appraiser. Most appropriate for a condemnation, think about condemnation. It's a big action, right? We have to check this and check that, and we're making sure the government is taking this property and giving just compensation. So it has to be a good detailed report, which would be A, the narrative report. 9. What is meant by the term condemnation value of a property? A, the value after the city condemns a dilapidated property. B, the value of the property for eminent domain purposes. C, the value of a property right before it's torn down. And D, the value of a property dismantled and moved. Condemnation. This is where we are like, man, I don't know the answer, but I'm going to use my context clues. Which words go together? And that would be B, the value of the property for eminent domain. Don't forget, we talk about eminent domain and condemnation together all the time, because eminent domain is the right that the government has to take your property, and condemnation is the lawsuit that they bring. So context clues, you got to be able to put these words together. Number 10, there are 3 vacant lots next to each other in a residential area. None are perfect for a home build. Each lot individually is $10,000. The builder decides to combine the lots to make them more appealing. After combining, the lots are now worth $45,000. So he took these 3 lots, he put them together. They were 10, 10, 10, but when he put them together, it's now worth $45,000, okay? A, the builder had assembled the lots. B, the builder has assembled the lots but did not get plottage. C, the builder has assembled the lots and did get plottage. Or D, no assemblage occurred. All right, this is definition again, right? If you put lots together, then we call that assemblage. So we know that D is out, okay? Now, the value of the lots individually were $10,000. So if you put them together, you think that it would just be $30,000, right? But nope. By putting them together, it's worth more, okay? And when you put something together and then it's worth more, you get assemblage by putting them together, and the worth more means that you got plottage. And so the correct answer there would be C. All right? Well, that's it. How did you do on that one? You know, valuation is another one of these tough subjects for students. It's a lot of information, but yet they don't test a number, a big number of questions. So once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm KJ from the KJ Method. And also click the link below if you want me to send you that study plan. So I hope to see you guys the next time. And also, give me some comments, right? Or questions. I don't understand number 4. I don't understand number 5. Can you go over it a little bit better? I will absolutely do that for you. I will see you on Valuation Test Review number 2.
Jumpstart your real estate career with KJ Method. Pass the exam with flying colors, only with KJ Method.